Hey everybody, it's Bust, and today we're playing the half-star weekly quest in the Path of Champions. And so, we'll say it again for the daily followers, we'll give it up one more time in the next video as well and be kind of done with it, but we are out here playing the Path of Champions, and so we typically play more competitively in terms of what we're trying to do with the channel and focus on the on-meta decks and then some off-meta decks to try and counter those and the likes of that, but this format has been together for about 2 months now. Worlds has passed, the Open has passed. There's no upcoming grassroots events. There's no compelling reason to play the ladder rank other than trying to flex how big your LP number is. And so it kind of leaves us in this space of trying to find something to do until that next patch comes out. And I feel like, being almost 2 months into this format, that the meme decks have been kind of discovered and the competitive decks have most certainly been discovered. And the likelihood of some kind of big breakthrough this deep into the meta just isn't there. And so, we'll take it into that space of being a little bit more casual, but definitely still fun out here in the Path of Champions. And so today, we should be a quest that we're going to cruise through, ideally, hopefully being a half-star quest. It shouldn't be too challenging, but it has the special rule that the player starts with the Dragon Roost, and that is the equipment or the landmark that summons, it's not Aurelian Soul, it's Invalus Vox. And so that strikes me as a reasonable place to bring in Talia. Talia, while she shouldn't be able to interact with the Dragon Roost, right? We play Talia on turn 5, maybe turn 4 if we find an Ancient Coin for her. The Roost should be flipped by then, but we still have the units in our deck like the Ancient, what's your name? Clockwork Curator that does the landmark reduction, the countdown onto the thing, so we can get that dragon up a little bit faster. Should be some reasonable synergies within the landmark stuff from Talia and starting with the landmark on board. Otherwise, we're kicking it off with the Overwhelm Relic. I usually start with the refill 3 spell mana one, but the Overwhelm Relic with Talia is quite strong. If you're not familiar with the Absolver Talias of days old, once she gets leveled up and starts to do the rock toss thing to the opposing unit, you assume the rock toss is going to kill the opposing unit, but Talia doesn't get to crash in for any damage since she was blocked. The Overwhelm allows her to deal damage through a unit that has been killed by the rock throw, and so a fairly powerful thing to bring with Talia. So nonetheless, let's get up to it, start that adventure, see if we can't give Caitlyn a little bit of trouble today. I don't think this deck has quicksands in it. I don't know the amount of elusives within the Caitlyn deck. It's probably just Sting Officer. I did see Fizz out here in the middle, but we'll have to see what turns up in terms of being able to deal with elusives. Otherwise, interesting set. There is the Lurk one, which is kind of strong. Allies everywhere that cost 3 or less are Lurkers and have Lurk. It doesn't necessarily play in with Talia, so if we want to dive into the Lurk deck, then we have to really kind of adjust what our deck does. And then having things like the Hibernating Rock Bear don't really work with the Lurker thing. And so it's most certainly the most high-powered one of these, but I just don't think it's going to have much synergy with what we're doing. And so over here to the left, we'll kick it off with the equipment one, the Creator Random Equipment Hand. It costs 2 less. Very powerful place to start otherwise. All right, into the Stony Suppressor, just like playing against everyone's favorite standard friend, the Suppression Inquisitor, bringing back the fond memories of the Elder Dragon standard meta. That's just what everybody's looking to see. All right, reasonable enough start, though. We got the Clockwork Curator. We got some of these shitty landmarks. Really just interested in the Curator and the Shapestone. All right, Ancient Prep, what you got for us? I guess we can go ahead and take Talia. She's not going to have any landmarks on board at the moment, but we can set up one of these Hibernating Rock Bears if we really want to. Let's do it. Let's go ahead and get that dragon on board. Start bringing down the OTKs on our opponent here. Striking them down from 10's not that tough to do, huh? All right, I did a little bust math. We got 11 on board. That's enough. GG. Very challenging battle. Good stuff. I'm sure things will ramp up as we move on. All right, so what do we got here? Nothing too exciting. I don't feel like rolling a ton here since we are a little bit lacking in champion level, only being at 4. We're not going to be super likely to find good units within these. I think we'd probably just want to pick up the Fallen Comet. We're not particularly good at interacting with opposing units, and so having a good catch-all removal spell is fine. All right, into the supporting champions. I want to see if, picking up something like Jax would, of course, be nice, or Ornn, since we have the landmark or the weapon-based power, but the Evelynn is always strong. I'm not opposed to it. She doesn't work with the landmarks that well, but she's a strong champion otherwise. Let's roll a little bit and see if anything cool pops up. Ornn will work just fine. We already mentioned him. Now he's ready for battle. Moving forward, I'd like to head towards this champion item chest up at the top left. I don't think we're going to lose any of these encounters along the way, and so we can go up against the plucky Poro. Let him get the tough units. So, man, I had this happen here recently in life. I got a little pissed about it, and so if you're not familiar with the channel, I live in Kansas City, and over the course of the past week or so, we've had some really awesome temperatures hovering around 0. One of the days the temperature was like -4, but the fun piece has been the wind chill, as to where the wind chill's been getting into like -30 or so, and it doesn't feel particularly awesome being outside and stuff. And so I got my groceries delivered this week. I typically don't bother, but I determined it was worth the $10 to not have to go out to the grocery store, deal with the masses, get the stuff, deal with being outside a little bit more and all that nonsense. And so, like, I thought the way that it worked, and I'm pretty sure this is the way it worked in the past, is like you put your order in, and then if they don't get something right, if they don't have something that you're looking to order, then they just kind of substitute it. And so if you're out here purchasing, like, the cheapo can of beans, and they're sold out of the cheapo can of beans, then they just give you like the upgrade, right? You get the name brand stuff instead of the store brand stuff. And I was pretty certain that was the way that it always worked, which is fine. But like this week, I got like completely zinged on the cost of everything, because that's apparently not how it works anymore. And the person also did a super shitty job of like weighing out the produce. And so what happened, and what really got me, is I put 1 pound of Brussels sprouts on the thing, and they don't question it, they don't change it or anything. They just tell you that they're on the way. And as it like comes back, like I was like, this is a massive thing of Brussels sprouts, but whatever, I didn't have to pay for it, right? Because that's the way the shtick works. And that was not the way it works. It turns out I got to pay for 3.5 pounds of Brussels sprouts when I only wanted 1. And then I also got to pay for like 3.5 pounds of potatoes when I only wanted 1. And then I got to pay for like 2.5 pounds of chicken when I only wanted 1. And I was like, well, this is just some fucking bullshit. And so like I get a little boomery at times. And so it's like I started like crawling through the fine print to see like why we weren't getting the price, because it's not my fault that I put $1 or a pound of Brussels sprouts on there and they gave me fucking 3.5 pounds of them. And it turns out that's just the way it works now. And so I don't know what the recourse was supposed to be. I didn't, I guess we can take Salt Spire. These aren't particularly interesting rewards. Ancient Hourglass isn't terrible. You can Ancient Hourglass a unit and then hit it with Talia, but we've been steamrolling through this stuff. Let's just take the Rock Bear Shepherd and continue up with the countdowns. Then into the champion item chest. I don't really like stacking in Ornn, just because he's so expensive and the games are done before we get there. The minus cost Talia could be pretty interesting, though. And so, no, it's like I was going through the thing and I couldn't find it, and I pulled it up, and then they finally have the note on there that says, the substitutions are at your cost. But I would contest that wasn't really a substitution. That was just a lazy fucking Instacart shopper trying to get through their day. So I don't know. I don't know what my recourse was in the situation. Just get on the internet and complain about it like a boomer. I got to go make a Facebook post about it or something, and that's how they know. No, I'll get in touch with the customer service. I get salty. What we got here? Do we want to play the swinging glaive? Probably not just yet. You can wait a turn. Sometimes you gotta do it, man. You gotta go out there and just leave the negative reviews. So this is what we're doing. It's probably where we'll be. I couldn't find like the customer service button either. I want a refund of like $18 because I'm about to throw it away 2.5 pounds of Brussels sprouts, so I think I deserve it. All right, we'll let that go. We'll jump back into the game here. Focus on what other Fleet Feather Tracker is trying to do to us. It's not trying to set up good attacks, that's for fucking certain. It's so fairly easy collection of blocks out here. We'll just take the minimum damage. Talia should be about ready to pop off starting on this next turn. Maybe we should have just let a unit die. Well, we need 2 spaces for Rock Bear Shepherd. Alright, whatever. Oh, we just blew up our Anaka? I don't think it matters, but... Alright, lots of focus. Also mentioned Facebook. I saw this big news today. It was wild to me that this is still a thing. But it's official that Rock Band / Guitar Hero is no longer going to release any new DLC, no new downloadable contents from the Rock Band, which I thought was gone like 8 years ago. Like I have no idea who's still out there making purchases on Rock Band and supporting that DLC. But there's apparently they've released over the course of, I think they started in like 2005, 2004. And apparently over the course of that span, they've released over 2,800 songs as DLC. And I'm just trying to think, like, knowing what a dipshit I am coming on here and just purchasing, like, prismatic cards every single day that we make a video. Like, I'm sure that there's multiple nerds out there that have literally every single song on their Xbox hard drive. And, like, I'm curious, let's stack up this curator. Like, how many people have to be legitimately interested in continuing on with Rock Band that much to where the DLCs are that big? Now, granted, like selling digital content, the overhead is pretty low. Like they probably just have, like 5 or 6 people sitting around, and like that one dude works 40 hours a week making a song, and then if that song brings back like 2 or 3 grand, then they've probably made their money, right? It probably has to be a little bit more than that, but it's a fairly like low like cost proposition in terms of what you need to do. The big monetary investment has already been made, so I'm curious, but that starts to get me to like think about Legends of Runeterra as well, in the sense that like how much does it take to really keep a game on life support, right? To where if you're thinking in terms of Rock Band and Rock Band still being out here and producing DLCs for this long, like how much effort does it really take to keep it going? And I don't know what the answer is to how much effort it takes, but it certainly feels like Riot is putting more effort into it than that, right? I know it's a very common thread on Reddit that the game is dead and the game is dying and all of the devs have been pulled off the game to work on surprise MMO or whatever the future thing is. But I mean, I have to feel like I have to feel like Legends of Runeterra is getting more support than Rock Band. So it's got that going for it, huh? All right, I wasn't paying enough attention here. I forgot that we're on the refill your spell mana every round game, and so we should have dropped that Rolling Sands fast so that we could get the thing up onto Fizz. But I think we're going to be okay here. We have plenty of health. We're about to get on board pretty quick. I think we're good. He's dropping double troubles. We can get out in front of that. Get our Envolus Vox on board. Alright, I'm ready to block. Got all these elusives, though. That was what I was worried about. We definitely don't have Quicksand in our deck. Alright, what else can we get going here? Probably want to drop the Spectacles. So, pick a follower to copy. This is the first time I've actually dropped the Spectacles, and so... That's what we should be out here doing, huh? We shouldn't be playing Path. We ought to be figuring out how to get the Spectacle deck up and running in Standard. Alright, I'm not gonna bother to hook the Omen Hawk. I'll just see what he does in this combat. Sends it right in anyways. Preserves his 0-3. Alright, we doing anything with this other stuff? Why do we keep getting these random ass spells? Summon a Rock Bear. Something about Dragon Roosts. Is that what Envolus Vox does? Yeah. When an ally with Fury kills an enemy, get a Dragon Follower. Gotcha. Alright, let's just go ahead and add in the other landmark so we can try and level up Talia. I'm not too worried about these Roiling Sands. The opponent had one unit, they had one job as far as cards go to get these things off the board. We needed to get the vulnerable onto Fizz, and we just completely messed that up. But my thought and idea here is we can probably we don't need this space. It's gonna say we can kill off a unit and then get Talia on board, but we don't need to copy the landmark to get her to flip. She's just going to flip as is, and so we should be good here.
Onward, everybody. The horizon calls.
But no, I was thinking, like, I knew because, like, it pops up on Facebook. Like, the limits of what I use Facebook for these days are some of my friends out here in Kansas City will create Facebook groups if they're going to have an event, and so if you're going to have a get-together for your favorite holiday, it's a lot easier to just make a Facebook group for it. And that's the extent of what I use it for. But my brother had the pop-up the other day from an image from like 18 years ago. That's how fucking old we are, right? I've got Facebook memories older than some of the viewers. But it was like the first one in the list. It was like 18 years ago, 20 years ago, and it was me playing Rock Band, and so it had a bit of a nice memory to it for me. All right, let's just put Regenerate on Talia. That's fine. I guess the Brash is probably make her a little bit more combat effective. She's not dying anyways, but I like to think that with Regenerate, she might be able to block if we need her to. What do we got? We already have the equipment thing. I'm leaning towards just taking the husks. Make that first unit we play a little bit better. We don't really need to stack all of those equipment. Now we can continue on to this champion item chest to the right, so we'll battle the Mirror Mage. I don't think we have a ton of combos for this thing, but it should be okay. That's wild to think, though. Shows you what a boomer you are. Well, I guess that's a tough statement in terms of Facebook, right? the legitimate boomers didn't get on Facebook until like 2015, but old folks such as myself, we were on the classic start of Facebook where it's you had to be within the specific college email addresses, and they eventually released it to Marshall, and it was a big day for everyone to get on the Facebook and figure it out. But not the way it works anymore, I guess. Nobody's impressed with my age. If you say, come on, I made it this far, though. I made it this far. It's pretty good. But all right. let's continue on with this game. I went ahead and played the Barnacles onto the Husk, so we get the bonus stats for the unit coming onto board. We can now replay it again for free. It's kind of the only value engine that we really have running for us here. I think I'm going to just go ahead and put it back on our Mirror Mage so it can get into combat with some of these smaller units over the course of a few turns and not die. Could boost its health up again with the Darkened Spear, but I don't think that's going to be necessary. Oh shit, somebody's got the bonus stat thing. There we go. That's a way to keep the Mirror Mage alive.
Something to reflect upon. Love the energy. Should I have read?
Alright, not bad. Cruising right through this. We gonna get this lethal next turn. Don't have any overwhelms on board. Might have to battle through this game for 2 more attack tokens. Who knows? Maybe opponent will get crazy and start attacking. We do have Brash on the Mirror Mage, but we got 2 units with Brash. Yeah, it's not gonna be enough. He still has the single blocker. This is like playing Poppy Tarek. Look at look at all these sweet supports that we're getting. Alright, Bandle Painter, not a big deal. I was looking to cast the Fallen Comet this turn, but these units all suck. There's our girl Talia. Might as well just prevent the damage, right? I don't feel like it's really going to matter in this run, but if we were on a bit of a more difficult challenge, we might be a little interested in preserving our health before we get into the more challenging rounds. Alright. Let's see if the Brash Bros can get in for enough damage now. Probably not. Right? At least he's only got 2 blockers at this point. Maybe we should have tried a little bit harder to get the Talia on board with her Overwhelm. Alright, still good enough. GG. Man, in this Path of Champions space, I feel kind of bad, right? I know we ran into this spot before with kind of like what to do in Runeterra. Right, it was like expeditions got taken away, and we had to kind of figure out what we were going to do if we're going to continue to play Runeterra, or if we're going to play Constructed, or if we're going to play Path of Champions. And I was a little interested in playing Path of Champions, but it kind of got repetitive. It was like the thing, like if you look at a game like Slay the Spire, is you're always able to kind of tune the difficulty to what you want. And so if you want a really difficult run, you can just level up the ascensions as far as you can. But if this isn't particularly strong, but this does do an additional 6 with Talia, so we'll pick up the Elemental Winds. You want any of this other stuff? It's not already in our deck. I don't think we really want it. We're not really hurting for anything here. Okay. What's going on? What do we have? A shop or an item chest? We'll go towards the chest. But no, like with the deck, like with a game like Slay the Spire, if you really want to push to a Ascension 20 to flex how big your brain is, you can do it. And then if you're looking to have a casual weekend or whatever you want to call it, you just play on Ascension 10 or something, and you get to kind of pick and choose how it is. But with Path of Champions, it always gets easier the entire way, right? There's no way to make Path of Champions more difficult other than playing the higher difficulty level quests and things. And so without having that opportunity to kind of fine-tune the experience, I didn't think it was going to be a real sustainable kind of thing to do. But it's wildly popular. If you're wanting to get out there and make the content, get a start in it, Path of Champions is a good place to do it. There was The thing I kind of felt bad about was there was an expeditioner named Conanson that put together the database of all of the abilities and all the skills and everything. And he was fine with me just kind of copying that and putting it on my personal website. But in the desire to kind of really switch in the focus to constructed, I didn't feel bad about just like leaving it up, but I knew it was eventually going to get out of date as the various powers and things change, and I didn't want to leave it up and then just have it be wrong. So I eventually took it all down. But like I've missed deleting some of the stuff on the site in regards to Path of Champions, and it's still just the absolute most popular stuff running around on there. Oh, is it in lethal yet? I thought we were just done with this, but I thought we were getting that 6 hit on the Talia thing, but not quite there. No, it's a nice little thing to come back to. I again, like on the last month, I was like, well, here's the monthly challenge. You run into this space in the Runeterra patch cadence to where, the set or the patch comes out, and that's really fun and exciting, and then you play it for a few weeks, and then you always get to this point at the end of the month to where like the open has happened, and there's not a ton of stuff to really come out and do within the game. And I thought that final week would be a pretty good place to do Path of Champions and then just kind of crash through the monthly quest right at the end. But I didn't realize how much time it was going to take and how challenging it was going to be without having the full complement of stacked champions and stuff. And so I'm hoping to at least kind of continue up the Path of Champions space and get our account in a space to where I can run through those final bits of the monthly challenge each month and make some content out of that. But I'm certainly not there now. I gotta get more level ups along the way. All right, almost up to Caitlyn, almost to the final battle. What is all of this garbage? Sure, hibernating rock bear bonuses. I'll take it. Into the item chest. Or hibernating rock bear bonuses, fine. I mean, we start with one, right? We might as well put a couple of items on it. Now we just come and cut it out of our deck, huh? Nah. We haven't really been playing any of this expensive stuff. I'm going to kick this Rock Bear Shepherd out of our deck. We haven't... I thought that it was going to be, a Talia friend. They play so well together in the constructed space, but now that Talia costs 3 and he costs 4, I don't think we're ever going to really develop the spaces to where it does anything. It's a reasonable enough start. Right, our on-board hibernating rock bear gets those 2 bonuses that we just put down, and so got the potential for some strength out there. Continue off with that same trick. Put the equipment on the husk, so when we play the unit, it's going to get that bonus stat. Then we'll get the equipment back in hand. Keep counting down this endless Vox. There was, like, I kind of thought for a moment in the previous game that we should have put the Rock Bear forward so that we could then Talia the 1 tick landmark, but I don't know. I don't know how much it really realistically matters. I don't think there's a ton of difference here between a 5/5 and an endless Vox. But now it does matter, right? Since our units, our landmarks have these abilities. I think I was definitely happier to leave the rock bears on board and then with the copy thing. What do we got? Combat reel, sure. No need to make scout attacks here. Really wish we get this Talia flipped. This should just be done, right? This should be done. Gonna do it. Plays a gotcha that doesn't matter. And shape stone our way out of this. Call it a day. So that was a little bit too easy, right? I wasn't I wasn't too impressed with that. It's been a while since I've really come through and run through these quests, and I know that the monthly challenge will be a little tough. I was thinking we might have a little bit more decision making with our 1-star four champion level champion, but that was too easy. So I won't do these anymore. if you're going to continue to stick around for our content, I won't do these very low level ones anymore, and we'll stick over to the monthly challenge. But man, with the monthly challenge, the very first quest this month was all units have spell shield, and then permanent spell shield, I should say, and then it has the node on it to where your spells all generate final sparks, and the final sparks didn't do fuck all, and so it was a little bit challenging in that sense if you didn't know what was going to hit you. And so it's like I would have been kind of okay doing the level 1 monthly quest, but yeah, this level half-star weekly quest was too easy. We won't do these anymore. But nonetheless, good set of games. I had fun with that. I hope you did too, because that is going to do it for us today. So hope everyone enjoyed the video. Maybe learned a thing or two along the way. I had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.